What's up guys, and this is the second part of our tutorial where we created the login UI. And if you want to check that out, this is what we created. And if you want to check that tutorial, you can click the link somewhere on the screen. So now we will be creating the register page. Now this is the kind of login that we had created. So the easy thing would be to just add some more fields here, like password for re-enter password, username, first name, and then just change this sign into register. That would be easy, but no, we don't do that here in Wakanda. Okay. So we don't do that here. We need to learn more, so we will be making some other UI for register. So why? Because we can learn more that way. So I'll go to my Firefox here and search for what we searched the last time, but instead of login we will do awesome register UI app, something like that. And let me go here, images. So what do we want to do now? Make sure we choose something that's not very difficult but not very easy or very simplistic too, so that it doesn't take long to do and it is not very boring too. Now I like this one actually. This is pretty good. This is actually nice, but to do this we will need a background like this, right, with this shape in the background, this button, and these resources like call, this. Now if you want to do that, we can do this, but for this I'll need an icon pack for this, right? Okay, let's do it anyway. I'll download the icons and I'll put it in a zip file and I'll share it with you guys. So give me a minute for searching the icons and then I'll be right back. Okay guys, I'm back and I've decided to use the default icons that Android provides and not search here. Usually I use this icon monster and flat icon. So if you want better icons, if you want awesome looking icons, you can use that, but I'll show you how to use Android's default icons. So if you are in search for something quick, you can do that, and that way you'll learn something else too. So first let's save this image so that we can see what colors they have used, and then I drag it into my Photoshop. Okay, so let it be here, and these are the icons, right? So first we need an icon for username, then password, and email and mobile, whatever you call it. So let's use this. Let's create or import these icons. How can you do that? Is you right click on your drawable, right, and then you do new, and then new drawable resource. And for new drawable resource, sorry, my bad, not drawable resource. This is not a drawable resource. So now you can choose it to be a drawable, but a better option is a vector asset because that scales properly with devices. So you import a new vector, right? And in this clip art, let's give this a name, IC username, right? And click on this clip art, double click, and from here you can choose the icons. Now they have a lot of icons, but searching is kind of difficult because the name is not like not a good name. Not avatar, I was going for avatar, user, head, and person. Okay, so this is person is there. Now let's use this one, or let's check the UI. Yep, they have used the filled one, not just the border one. So this is the filled one, right? So let's use person, hit OK, and this is our okay. Let's use this default name itself. What do you think? Okay, let's use the default name itself, and the color is okay. This completely dark is not that good. You gotta make it a little grayish. So even though it looks like it's completely dark here, just check it. Okay, I think it's completely dark here, and yes, it is completely dark. So let's just go with it. Let's just go with the design. And so this is our first vector drawable, and just hit finish. Now it's always better to use this vector one because its size fits according to the view, that is the edittexts. So, and you can change the dimensions here itself. So if it looks a little big, you can make it small here. So if possible, always use a vector drawable. And if you download the icons from this icon monster or other site, always download the SVG so that you can import it as a drawable, as a vector. Okay, now if this is the kind of icons like black and white, simple and unicolor, or two colors, then it's fine to use SVG and vectors. Otherwise, if it's too complex, then use the normal PNG or JPG itself. Okay, so now we have imported the person. Now we need, what do we need? We need this lock, email and mobile, right? So let's search for those. We go here into drawables, then we import a new vector asset. We have the person, so we need, okay, we need, is there something here? We need first a mail. Okay, we need an email, right? Okay, let's do this mail. I like this one. It's a little smaller in height. Okay, I see mail black. Okay, and we need a lock and a phone. So let's create another vector assets. Let's search for a lock, this one. Okay, and finally we just need our, what do we need? Phone. So as you can see, guys, this is pretty cool. If you want, you know, the stock images that Android provides, you can just create your vector from here, search for your icons here, you know. So these are all vectors, so the size does not matter, it scales according to sizes. So that's pretty cool. Now, how do I search for phone? Do you guys think of any, can you think of any word that we need to search? Okay, no, I cannot hear your suggestions. Maybe we'll do a live someday. Maps, navigation, places, social, communication. Okay, so it's like call, phone. Let's have this, and we are done. We are done with our drawables. Now let's create our register activity. Now first let's look at it. We need, what do we need? We need this arrow also, right? And this button. Okay, so let's not think about the background at the moment, right? First let's create these things, these items, and then we will worry about the background. All right, so now let's have this here also. Okay, let's import this arrow first. Let's search for arrow. We need a right arrow, and we need, oh my god, I just canceled it. So, you know, do not rush. Be sure of what you are doing. Okay, thank god. Okay, no, not phone. Again, I'm rushing a little. We need an arrow. Search in all. We need a back arrow and a forward arrow. Both, we need both the arrows, so let's import that too. Okay, we need a forward arrow also, and we are done with our vectors. Finally, we can start creating our UI. So let's create a new layout called, let's call it register underscore activity, and again, do we need a constraint layout here? We don't, right? We just need linear layout, because these are just linear. There's no complex views in relation to each other. It's just a linear layout, simply linearly assigned. So let's just create it. Let's change it to a linear layout. Alright, let's just check what's going on here. Let's change the background to white. And let's start our projects. First we need an image button. Let's call it wrap content. And the source is our back arrow, right? Back black. There you go. And you need to set background to null, so that, okay, so it is not working. I'll just change it to image view. I am not sure why I haven't used image view image buttons much, so let's just change it to image view. That's ivy back. The size is a little bigger, right? So we can just increase the size here from 24. We want it to be, let's say, we want the width to be 42 and the height to be 32. Does that work? It looks a little distorted, right? Let's increase this too. Okay, this is fine. Now let's add a little padding, right? Because it's just, it's stuck to all the corners, so let's add a padding of 16 dp. There you go. And now as you can see here, okay, we'll do that later. For now, let's just add a text view. Width is match parent, height is wrap content, and add the text create account. And let's increase the size to, let's say, 48 dp sp. Now as you can see here, it's in white and it's not visible, and let's change the color to black, and it needs to be, okay, it's too large. It needs to be below the arrow, right? So we need the orientation to be horizontal. Okay, it's vertical, not horizontal. Let's make it vertical, and let's add a margin of 32 dp. Width match parent, but why is it so small? Maybe because of the margin. So let's center it. Gravity is center. I think let's increase the size a little more. 32. Okay, it seems good. Okay, it still seems a little bigger, and let's make it bold, because that is bold, right? Okay, now it's bold too. Okay, now we need our edit text. Cool. Edit text. Let's have it to match parent, wrap content. And as you can see, I cannot see the edit text, so let's create a background, right, as we had created in the button. So what you can do is, okay, I forgot what the activity looked like. So we have something here, right? Assign in buttons. It's a rectangle itself, so there's nothing interesting here. So we need a new drawable resource. Let's call it edit. Be as specific as you can, guys, because you might be confused about edit. If there are edit text, I was going to name it edit text background, right? But there might be other edit text inside, so That might be confusing. So what you can do is you can write register edittext background. Root element is a shape and it is a drawable. There you go, and hit enter. Let's edit it. We need a solid of color white. What else do we? Okay, how do you add the corners? Man, I forgot. Where is it? Just a second. So this happens, guys, you know, sometimes I usually just copy from my previous projects, so this is not the case. I think it's just here. Yep, it is, my bad. But in case this happens, I was about to search, I was about to, you know, just do a quick Google search, so that's what happens. You cannot remember all the things. So you add a shape here, it's rectangle, and here what you can do is you can add a color that is, again, I am a little confused, so I was taking a little longer, and here you want it to be a circle, so let's add a corner radius of 16 dp. Now you want these values also to be in your resources files right here from your values, right? But we need to keep testing it out, so that's why I'm doing it here at the moment. And let's set the background to our register edittext background. Let's give it an elevation of 16 dp. It is not visible at all, so let's, until we get the background, if we get the background then it will be visible. So until we get the background, let's, you know, let's change the color to something a little grayish so we can see our components, right? Okay, so this is the edit text. Now we need it to be, width is let's say 128 dp, 198 dp, 248 dp. Okay, it's, I think it's match parent itself. As you can see, it's all to the corners, so it's match parent. And now we want a height of, let's say 76 dp, too large, 56, too large again, 36. That's a little closer to what we want. Okay, perfection. Now let's give this a little more radius of, let's say 22. Is this fine? Okay, perfection, a lot of perfection. We need some more margin, right? So let's it's still not as much margin as we need, so let's add a margin of 2 dp. Why did it go shorter? Okay, it's fine. Now what we need is, we need a shadow here, but giving it an elevation is also not giving a shadow for some reason, so we'll fix that later. For now, let's just duplicate it. The shortcut is Ctrl D. I hit Ctrl D how many times? 4 times. D. Now we got our edit text. Again, why am I having so much trouble with our layout? Why is it not showing it? You know, it's the same problem as we were having as when we were doing our login part. Anyhow, why is it not coming down? Let's switch to design view for a moment. We have 4 edit texts, right? Oh, and this is weird. This is very weird. Why is it not coming down? Okay, let's run it. Best thing to do is to run it. Let's open an emulator itself. I'll run it in the emulator. Okay, guys, my bad. There is no default activity here. is this not the default activity? So let's make it a default activity. Intent filter, the action is main, and the category is what is it? It is a default launcher, right? So let's make this launcher. If we go back here again, now we want to see this one, right? We want to see the register activity in action. So let's change this to, okay, let it be login activity itself. Let's change the layout to register because that's what we want to check, right? Now let's run it. Okay, so we are having some problems in our layout renderer because this is not being rendered properly. I've got like 5 edit text here and only, where is it? Where is my register activity? Okay, and only one is visible here. So let's check it out. Let's remove one. We need only 4. We got this here, we got this here, we got one edit text here. We're only having problem with the rest. Okay, so anytime this Pixel phone is pretty nice. It was pretty nice. So if you guys, any one of you have used Pixel before, just let me know how it was, because you know, by the looks of it, it looks a lot earlier than the Android phones at the moment. But I've heard it works pretty good. The cameras are amazing, softwares are amazing, and the way Google optimizes their cameras is out of this world. That is one example of why we need to optimize the softwares instead of just focusing on higher specifications of hardware. Okay, as expected with emulators, it takes a lot of time when running for the first time. Finally, it is installing. Okay, there we go. Now see, it is there. So this is rendering wrongly, as you can see here. All the 4 are visible, but the background sucks. We need to add a margin, right? So we need to do all those things, but we are on the right path. Now this is messing me up. So now you will see the hardcore way, not the hardcore way. You know, let's just do it. Let's just do it and let's just run it and see it every time. Let's close this. This is just making me mad. Why is it not working? Okay, so we need a margin. First of all, a margin top, layout margin. This is margin left, and we want this to the right also. And let's say we want a top margin of, I'm getting a call, let me just end it. We want a top margin of 16, not 16 exactly, let's say 12 dp. How much is it? Okay, it's pretty good. Let's change it to 14. Now let's margin top. Let's copy it in all the edit text below it. Let's reduce the elevation to 8. So you know, you cannot test it now. You have to make a very good guess because your renderer is messing up. So, but as a developer, you gotta create solutions anyhow. Since we are in a rush, we will not try to fix that, but we will just create the app good old-fashioned way. And now let's change the, sorry. Now as you can see, we had to create writing. We have to write black for everything. No, turn set the text color of this black, this black, this black. Instead of turning that all black, what we can do is we can create a theme and then apply that theme. But instead of doing that, what we can do is we can just not instead of doing that. So to do that, what we can do is we can go to our styles and just change it to light, so that if the background is light, the text automatically becomes dark. Okay, so now we don't need to do that. Okay, I was trying this out, but let's not try this again. So our text will be black now. Now it's the time of the drawables. So let's set left drawable to what is in the first, it's user, right? So do we have a user? We have a person, right? We want this to be a person. Let's copy this here, and we want this to be password, that is a lock, and then copy paste it here also, and then it was a phone maybe, and then finally it was, what was it? It was mail. Okay, we messed it up a little, mail was before this, I think, but anyhow, is the drawable visible? So the drawable is also not visible. Man, this is messed up. Android Studio's gotta make it easier to find problems and solve it. Okay, so we got our drawables here, everything is all good. We also want padding, some padding, because padding left, padding right, both padding. We want padding, let's say we want padding of a small padding, just say 60 ppi, and let's just paste it everywhere. Okay, okay, so now we got padding, we got buttons, we got drawables. We also have this eye thingy here. Now where is our password thing? This is here. So we need another drawable here. What is it called? Let's call it I. I think it has to be I. Nope, there is no I. There is, yes, there is. So it's for to remove red eyes. So we will just put it here. Okay, and in our password field, let's have a right drawable, that is I. Okay, now let's assume this thing is done, and let's have this create button at the moment. Okay, so now this is a text view also and a button also. We have both here, right? So let's have both. Text view as, let's say, wrap content, and the size is, as you can see, as much as the create account text. So what was the size of our create account? It was 28 sp. So let's give it 28 sp. Let's call this create. It was in small, right? The C was capital. And let's make a button. And let's call it, what do we want to give it sizes? Let's call it let's just give it wrap content at the moment, because we need to create the background also, right? So, and let's just give it text create at the moment, and after that we need our social media things. So let's copy this. First let's give it a margin of, I don't know how much, little greater margin, right? And then let's just make it margin top, and then we want a text view to say or create account using social media. And now what I do is we search for social media icons, right? Now before searching, as you can see here, now this is not, till now we had everything aligned vertically, right? Now these two are aligned horizontally and these three are aligned horizontally. So if we just keep on adding this, now you probably know what happens if you keep on doing this, right? This is for Facebook, this is for Twitter, or whatever it was, Twitter, yeah. And no one uses Google Plus anymore. Let's just, remember it. And let's see how far we have gone. Now, the quick thinkers among you might be already, feeling a little bit problematic, because we have just put on these things and now these are going to appear as aligned vertically. Everything will be aligned vertically. But looking here, these two are next to each other horizontally. These three are next to each other horizontally. So we will get there. Let's just first run it and see how much far we have come. Okay, so the margin is not working here, and we have the create there. That's fine. So this is good. The drawables are good, right? So we need some more padding here to the left and the right, and now we will make this appear horizontally. These two also appear horizontally. Okay, so let's do that. First, this is bold, so let's make it bold, and now we will make this inside a linear layout so that it is horizontal. Width is match parent and height is wrap content and orientation is horizontal, and as you can see, guys, this is okay, this is to this right end, not in the middle, so the gravity needs to be right. And now we end it, and now this, let's just copy it so that we are faster. You gotta be fast. Okay, and the gravity is center in this case. Okay, so let's assume this is working. Now we need to do this part, right? So didn't I create copy margin in the rest of these things? I did this, right? Margin top, did I copy it everywhere? Margin top 14, margin top 14. So why is it not working? Okay, it will work. Let's first find our icons. Social media icons, circular, and we got everything. We got everything. Facebook, Google, Twitter. Okay, so let's just download these. My net is working very slow, extremely slow. Now we gotta crop it. This is not your job, this is your developer's job, but you just, okay, so now if you are wondering what I just did and you want to learn a little bit of Photoshop too, so what you can do is you can select the white part using this magic wand tool. So it's W, the shortcut is W, so I just clicked W and then I click on the white part, so it selects all the white part, and then I delete it, and then I just select, I hold shift, I am holding shift, and then I'm dragging this so that it's a square. Okay, and now you hit image and you hit, where is the crop? Okay, you hit crop, right, and then you save it as, let's save it as ICFP, right, and then let's do something else too. Now let's hit Ctrl Z, and now let's just move our box over to Google Plus. Okay, and let's crop this too. Let's save it as ICG Plus. Ctrl Z. Finally, time for our Twitter. image, crop, Control Shift S, and I see. Okay guys, so now we got, okay, it's not saved yet. So we have our icons also with us. So see, you stay with me and you learn everything. Android also and Photoshop also. Now I've just copied it and I'll just paste it here at the moment. Paste it here. Okay. Okay. And let's add our background to, what was it? ICFB first. And then we set the background to Google Plus. And then finally we set our background to, what was it? Twitter. Okay. So now we got this. So let's hope and let's pray that this is like this. Now we need a margin here. Let's give it a margin of 16 dp. Yes, that should be fine. And we have, okay, what do? This 3 is done. This is done. Now we need to make this button, right? Almost everything else is done. We need to make this button. As you can check here, we need to make this button, right? So this button is, okay, a background of orange with an arrow. So let's create a drawable resource file. Let's call it register button. Okay, the root element is, what is a root element? So now as you can see here, it's not just a background color but also you know, this arrow thing. So we need two things, a background and an arrow. Okay, so for that what we do is, there's a layer list, okay, because there are 2 layers. So what you can do here is you create a layer list here, right? And then you add an item, right? The item is a ripple. Let's set the ripple color to any color at the moment, and the shape is, it's a rectangle, and it's not just a rectangle. So how do you set corners now? Where was it? In which one did we have the corner? It was in our, okay, let's just play around a little. Radius. Okay. Okay, so how do you add this thing here? Okay, so okay, we'll just check it out later. Alright, so first let's copy and paste it. Okay, just once, so that the first one is our background color, right? And we need, what do we need? A background color. So we need a color here. What options do we have for, okay, so let's just add the color to be orange. What is the colors? Now as you can see here, it's a gradient, it's not a color. For now let's just add this one color. Okay, and what is the hex code of this color? Now guys, I did this using the eyedropper tool. The shortcut was I just did it and I didn't inform you. So you press I and this eyedropper tool comes, and then you click, and then you go here, and then you select the hex code. Select the hex code here. Forgot the hash. Now is it visible? It is not. Maybe I'm doing it all wrong. Okay, but it might be this thing's problem too. So we want our background color to be this, and we want Okay, and so this is our background, and we need what do we need? Our arrow, right? So we don't need this ripple also. So what are the available options that we have here? Because I cannot think of a thing here. Shape, a bitmap. Okay, bitmap might be interesting. Okay, let's see bitmap, and we have the source. Of course, it is bitmap. Beautiful, and it's arrow pointing forward. What? You cannot even find this now. Okay, we will see it in our pixel. Okay, so I had accidentally closed it, guys, so you know it's coming back again. Okay, so now until that thing runs, let's change this. Now what you do is, let's say, now the thing is, this ripple, shape, color have become all different, but they are all inside one thing, right? When you click on the shape, it shows a ripple and it's of a certain color. The shape is of a certain color. So what you do is, you go here and inside the shape, as we had done here, where is the edit text? As you can see, the solid and corners are inside shape. Okay, so go back here, and then you have a solid, and the color is okay. It's a bit slow because it is trying to install it in our emulator. Okay, no worries. It cannot find register button, not well formed. Okay, there might be an error here somewhere, so no worries. First, let's fix it. The color is this color, right? And hash paste it. This is the color. And what else do we have? We want it to have a corner, right? Radius. So how much is the radius? Okay, it's similar to edittext and a little more than edittext, I think. So the radius is, let's say, 20 dp. So now our background is ready, right? A shape. Now the shape needs to have a ripple. So what we can do is, we can close the ripple here and have this inside ripple. Okay, so whenever you click on the shape, there will be a ripple. Or is it not allowed? Shape is not allowed here. I was right. So you have a ripple here. So what? So you have a ripple here, right? And below it, I think this needs to be a different item, because this is an item in itself. But you know, yeah, I think that's why that is not working. Now, yes, okay, even now it's not working. Anyway, let's move on. And now, why is this not working? If I control click here, as you can see, it's here, but it's black. I need to change it to white. So how can you change this to white? This is the thing with vector drawables, guys. You can just change the fill color. Let's make it just FFF, and it'll turn white. There you go. Now this is your button. It's all good. So in our register, let's use this button. Okay, where is the button? Okay, so set the background to our register button. Okay, let's run it and see how far we have reached. We were here. Come on. Okay, why has it stopped? Come on, I was not expecting this error here. Anyway, you know, that's parcel of our jobs. errors. Okay, gotta fix it. Where is the error? Okay, bitmap requires a valid source attribute. Login activity. Okay, line 84, inflating class button. Bitmap error inflating class button. So there is some error in the button. Okay, what is the error? We keep on going ahead. File not found. Drawable register button.xml. Drawable resource ID. Okay, so register button.xml is not found is its complaint. I'm sorry, this is not found, but isn't it here? It is, right? So why is it not found? Okay, so let's just try to, okay, let's say to, to first you need to see where the problem is. So to find that, you just delete it and then we run it again. So is the problem there? Now if the problem occurs again, then we will be sure that the problem is there, and then we can look forward to fixing it. Okay, so this is messed up. Yep, the problem was there, as you can see, it's visible here. So we will fix that, but till then, not till then, let's just fix this first. This looks very, very ugly. Just a second. Now, where is it? So first let's give it some size. Gravity center, not wrap content, that's too large. Let's call it 42 dp. So now this is the problem that I was talking about, guys, with this static values, because now I had to change it everywhere. If it was in a diamond and it was named button width or something, then just changing it there would have changed it in all these things itself. So let's say this is done. Now 42 is okay. Now I will just change it because I'll have to do it a lot of times if I keep doing this. So what I can do is I can write diamond and say social button size. Now it's not here, so there will be an error. So what I do is I hit Control Enter and I create the diamond value. The resource value is let's say 52 dp. Now I just copy it everywhere, and from now onwards, whenever I have to change it, I just go in this social size button and change it, and it will be reflected in everything. So this is done. Now we don't need the text. Remove the text, and we don't need the text here itself too, and we don't need to wrap content here. We need to give it a fixed size of what? Okay, it's a little, height is a little less than your edit text, so height is a little less than edit text. So let's give it 44 dp. Alright, now what is messed up? This is not centered or create account using social media, so let's center it. So to center it, what we can do is we can just set it to match parent, and we can set the gravity to center. Now let's hit Control Shift F10 to run it. So the things that would have been fixed is this size and some other things. Okay, let's just wait and watch. And now we can search for why we were having problems here in our register button. Where is it? Beautiful. Not exactly beautiful, but a lot better. Okay, we need some margins here. It needs to go down. Okay, why is this up and this down? Is this layout not horizontal? Where is it? Orientation is horizontal. Okay, I've added margin top here. So this margin top 26 dp is why it has this margin, but this margin should be applied to this button also, right? So, and both those are inside this layout, so we put it here. Okay, we got our that thing also. Now this also needs a margin. My bad, I'm sorry guys, I'm sorry if you are wearing headphones. And as you can see here, the margin here is a little greater than margin it has at the bottom. So margin top is 26 dp and margin bottom is 16 dp. Okay, so that fixes that, and we need some more margin here in the middle. So let's just give margin to left and right margin to Google Plus, and everything else will be fixed. So where is that Google Plus? This is Google Plus. Left margin is 16 dp and Control D, and then right margin. Guys, I'm doing this a little faster now because, you know, I think it's already 1 hour, around 1 hour, and this is not good. Once you are a good programmer, you should not take 1 hour to make a simple register page. Okay. Nah, I think I'm just kidding. I think it takes this much time. I'm not sure. Okay, this is good. This is good. This is also pretty much not good. So what we need to do is add a little margin here and increase the margin from the top. Okay, so see, now this has equal margin here and here because what we give 26 from the top, right? So this should be greater than this, but we have a margin, layout margin here in this also. That's why. So so the gap here is like a margin combined of this text view and this layout. So we remove this here and we increase this a little more because it's still less, and then we center it because now this is aligned to the top. It needs to be at the center, right? It needs to be at the center of this button's layout. So what we can do is we can do gravity right and this straight whatever this is line and center 2. So that means it will be right and to the center. So that means to the right and in the center. So this center will, this grid will come a little down, and we need a little margin here. Margin right. How much margin do we have? Okay, 16 dp. Again, I use a lot of 16 dps. Now this is done, this is done. Okay, yeah, now we need to increase the margin of this from both top and bottom. This is a little less margin, here we have a little more margin, right? So where is our layout here? Margin top and margin bottom. Okay, so I think it is pretty much fine according when we look at the size, you know, difference between the size. Is it? Let's have a margin anyway. See, let me just end the call again. Okay, so let's give margin top 32 and margin bottom 16 because we have a margin in this also, right? We have a margin top here also. Okay, so now I think this will be fine because margin top and margin bottom are equal, and we have 32-bit dp margin of this, so this and this will be same. Let's try to run it again. So it is here. Okay, looks a lot better, but this is beautiful. This is still ugly, you know, we gotta be honest, but it's coming there. You know, we gotta make some more plastic surgeries, do some more surgeries to this thing. And let's give this a little more, fix the margins here. And one more thing, see, this is also a little bit too attached to the left, so let's give it a left padding, increase the left padding, or the overall padding will do fine. Edit text, our padding is, where is the padding? 6, let's increase it to 10. Now I suggest you to, you know, have top padding, bottom padding and left padding in this, because if you do 10, that will be applied to everything, you know, the top also, the bottom also, so that your text might be what is it called, the text might be cropped when you view it, your text might be cropped. So okay, now we have that. We need actual margin, so there's a margin just here. This margin is a little greater, so let's see what we have here. We have margin of 2 dp and margin top of 14, so that combines to give it a margin of 16 dp. Now again, this has a margin top of 14. Let's just change this to margin tops to, okay, let's just make it 20 dp. And here what do we need to do is, we need to give it more margin, so let's copy this margin top in all of our edit text. Why this margin? Okay, so that was, this small thing is just a small margin is here because we didn't forgot to delete layout margin. So delete this layout margin 2 dp because that overrides your other margins. Alright, so now let's hit Control Enter. Sorry, my bad. Shift Enter. Not Shift Enter, my bad. A lot of bad. Shift F10. Okay, now this will be a lot better. Already looking a lot better. So we are, as you can see here, we put this here, we put your app here, you know, it's almost same. Okay, I understand this background needs to be there, but till then what we can do is, before adding the background, let's have this, what is it, this arrow. So let's go to our button now. Why is this button not taking that as a background? Let's say item, and we want, okay, it's drawable, not bitmap, I think. Forward arrow, yes, it was. See, you forget things. And now it's looking nice. It's looking very nice. And then, as you can see here, this is not exactly the same color. It's a little yellowish to the top and a little darker orange to the bottom. So what we can do is, we can do, instead of the shape, we can add a gradient. But how do you add a gradient? There you go. Instead of the solid, you add a gradient, and you have a start color. So let's remove the solid. This is the start color, and you have an end color. So now let's make the start color a little yellowish, not orange. So let's bring it a little bit here. Okay, awesome. So now you have learned a lot. See how much you've learned? You've learned a lot. You have learned this ripple thing, this background, setting this vector thing. So this is not just a regular tutorial. There's a lot of tutorials embedded in this tutorial. Anyway, you know, so you better hit a like and subscribe and whatever else there is to hit. And now hit Control Shift F10. Hit Shift F10. In Android Studio, never hit Control Enter. Shift F10. that is in Workbench. So I'm messing up my shortcuts. I'm actually doing Shift F10, but I am saying Control Enter. Okay, what's wrong with this? This is funny. We need to limit the width. Let's give it a width of, is it a square? No, it's a little larger on the width, so let's give it 0 dp. Control Shift F10. Now we are almost there. If the background, it will look a lot better. So this boring background is killing the mood. So let's search for the background now. Where is our Mozilla Firefox? And let's say plain abstract background. Not abstraction, abstract background. Mobile. Because we want it to be, horizontal, not that color. So where is it? Now it's really difficult to find something like that. That is beautiful. Just look at it. This is beautiful. The background is beautiful. So how can we create? Oh, I just had an idea. Why not? Let's just paint it all white and let's use this itself. So what we can do is, now again there will be, this is a little bit of Photoshop tutorial for you. So let's just crop this. And we'll make this our background. So we hit image, crop. Again, I'm sorry if you were wearing headphones. I am also wearing headphones and it hurt my ears too. I have just muted the phone, the device, so it won't happen again. I think my ears are bleeding. Okay, so it is recording now. Let's just erase it, or hit B. So that is a shortcut for brush, but why is it not working? Anyway, if it's not, we can just, okay, now hit B, I to select color, and we click here. I select white and then B again, and then I just paint white. I just paint white over here. So now we have this, but this much itself is not good, right? So what we can do is, again hit W, and this selects the white part, and hit Control Shift I to invert the selection. So this selects this part. So and then hit Control J, it duplicates it, and hit Control T to transform it, and then we move it around, and then let's increase the size a bit, then move it again a little bit, bring it to the front, and okay, I want to do it something like this. But this is white here, so let's leave it at that. And then this line is here. Again hit B and paint over it. Now we can set this as our background, but okay, yeah, let's try it. Let's see how it looks. It was blue, right? Okay, I just cropped it. So, or you can hit Control U. First select this, make sure you have selected this layer. Select this layer and then hit Control U, and then just play with this a little, and there is your blue, right? Okay, and then hit Control J again, Control T again, and you can try to fill this up like this. Hit Enter, hit E, and do this. Okay, not bad. Let's try this. Okay, this is a part here. It looks like red. Let's just paint it too. What is this? Okay, maybe it's this layer. Yes, it is. Now let's go File, Save As. Let's call it App BG, and let's save it directly in our Android folder, Studio Projects, and what is the name of this project? Awesome Login. source main inside drawable as a PNG, not a JPEG. There you go. This is saved. And now let's go to our awesome login. Right. Okay, now this is working a little. So what we can do is we can set background to app.pg, and there you go, it looks beautiful. B-E-A-U-T-I-F-U-L, beautiful. Let's run it again. Shift F10. Now let's see what happens and how far along we are. Okay, so this is finished loading, and this is our app. Beautiful. Now this is a bit too much shadow, so what we can do is we can just, you know, decrease the elevation to just make it half of 8. So see, that's why you need to put this in a dimensions file, as I did with the height of the buttons, you know, because it's difficult to just change it everywhere. Sometimes you might miss, and sometimes you might, you know, miss. Okay, I hit Shift F10 again, and now let's wait to look at this beauty, and we need to decrease the size of this. This is, what is this button? So let's decrease the size of this button. It's this white thing is too large. Where is it? Forward black. Let's change it to, let's say, width also 20, and height is also 20. Hit Control F function, Shift F10 again, and now let's wait for the magic to happen. Wait for it. It's about to be installed. The beauty is about to be revealed, and here we go. Beautiful. But did the size decrease though? See, you click on it, you see a nice ripple of this color. Which color was it? Accent color. You can change it to any color. Beautiful. This is beautiful, you know. So you just made a beautiful register page for your app. Congratulate yourself, guys. Congratulate yourself. Congratulations. It's a little tap. So now hit the subscribes, comment, and share. Comment what you want to see next. Alright, till next time, happy coding.